As we have saved the best for the last, I'd like to invite Dr. Muhammad Aslam Parvaiz. I've already introduced him. He does not need an introduction again. I'd like to thank him for being here with us. I'd like you to take over, inshallah. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Ali. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. So it is another student at the last. Well, I'm sitting here before you making my presentation, and I'm speaking what I'm planning, what I have planned to speak. I can move my hand, both, move my head, but can I regulate the blood circulation in my body? Can I regulate the gas exchange which is occurring in my lungs? And many such things which are basic to my life processes. Well, you will agree, no. It means that even my body is not totally under my control. Part of it, particularly the parts which are vital, are controlled by divine laws. And these divine laws are essential for the optimal and efficient functioning of not only my body system, of our body system, but of every human being, every living being, every creature. I will be sharing my screen. This is the topic I'm talking about, the living in sync with nature. And this is what I'm talking about. As you can see here, this is a picture of the alveoli, the small balloon-like structures which make our lungs. And as you can see, the blood enters and gives out its carbon dioxide, and takes up oxygen, becomes reddish in color, and moves to the body to distribute this oxygen and many other things which it carries with it. Now, this gas exchange which is occurring inside this alveoli space is based on the laws of diffusion, which tells us that everything moves from a region of high concentration to a region of low concentration. Now, when the blood reaches here, it has more carbon dioxide, so it gives it is deficient in oxygen, so it absorbs oxygen. Now, these laws of diffusion are operative everywhere in nature. Another example which I will give you is that of a seed. Now, you sow in soil, it absorbs water because of imbibition, and the enzymes present inside the small seed, they hydrolyze the food material which is stored in it, and it starts germinating. Germinating in a sense that the shoot always goes up and the root always goes down. However you change the direction of the seed, it always goes this way, that the shoot is always positively geotropic and the roots are negatively geotropic. Again, the natural laws which are operating here we can see. Now we come to this verse. Allah says that whatever creature that is in the skies and that is in the earth, and the angels too, bow down, that is submit to Allah, and they do not consider themselves great to disobey. They fear their foster above them and do what they are commanded. That's why I written it in red color, and they do what they are commanded. It means every creature in nature, as we just saw, that even in my body, in our bodies, there are natural laws which are commanded to perform their duties, except human beings, because human beings have a choice. They have a choice to follow either the divine guidance or their desires, their whims, and so on, and lead their life accordingly. The next verse also emphasizes the same thing, that whatever is in the skies and the earth is His, and His is the law that prevails forever. Will you then fear/obey someone other than Allah? It means everything follows divine laws. And then Allah says, then will you then submit or fear or obey? This in fact is the word translation of taqwa. أَفَغَيْرَ اللَّهِ تَتَّقُونَ. Taqwa word means that we must do what Allah asks us to do and should not do what is forbidden. It means simply we can say following divine commands 100% in totality. If we do that, we attain taqwa. So Allah says that if everything in nature is following my laws, then will you follow some laws which are your own or which are man-made? And since this is not possible, Allah is also giving us set of laws, and those set of laws are binding or mandatory on us, as this Qasas 65 says, the Innal Lazi Faraza alayka al-Qur'ana la radduka ila ba'd. Most surely he who has made the Quran binding on you will bring you back to the destination. Now it means Quran is, you see, there is again not a choice to follow Quran or not to follow. It is binding on us. You see why we offer prayers or do fasting, because Quran asks us to do. Kutiba alaykum siyama. Therefore we are fasting. So when Quran is first on us, it is binding on us. What do we do with it? What do we do with this verse? And in fact, this is the verse which I would say is the game changer in my life. Because when I read, and nobody, I must share it with you, that nobody told me that Quran is binding on me. Whatever I was told, as we all know, prayers, fasting, zakat, hajj, and so on. But nowhere it was mentioned to me. I never heard it anywhere, in any sermon, any Friday sermon, anywhere. Maybe I was not that lucky, and some of you might have heard it or read it somewhere. But when I started reading Quran and understanding it, then I came to this verse particular, which tells that it is binding on us. And not only binding, it makes it compulsory on us that we should follow it. Ittabi'u ma unzila alaykum min rabbikum. This is a complete and perfect order, that follow what has been revealed to you from sustainer, from your fosterer. But the next part forbids us, wala tattabi'u min dunihi awliya, and do not follow guardians besides him. That is, it's not that only Quran is binding on us, but we are categorically asked just to follow what is revealed to us, that is what is given to the Quran. Now the question comes that if this is the situation, then how many of us really understand Quran and understand and know that what we are supposed to do? In fact, what we find that, as I said in my introduction, that when I was a child, I was taught to how to offer prayers. Now again, I have, as you might be noticing, hesitant to use the word prayer, because the word ibadah cannot be translated either as a prayer or as a worship. But in fact, this is what is happening. In the name of Islam, what we know and what we preach and what we practice is only prayers and worship systems. You pick any book, basic book of Islamic or the Islamiyat or Islamic studies, you will find the Islamic prayers. And I will share a page from Wikipedia which shows the Islamic prayers, the listing of the 5-time prayers and the Jummah prayers and the Eid Jamaat and so on, Taraweeh and Dua and Zikr. And then we have the 5 pillars, including the Salat, the Zakat, the Saum and the Hajj, the 5 pillars of Islam. Now it is fine, but what about the other parts of the Quran, which are totally, I would say, we are ignoring that. And this verse categorically is very important, because it says that, do you then believe in one part of the book and reject the other part? Then what is the reward of one who does like that among you, except disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they will be sent towards a severe punishment, and Allah is not aware what you do. It means, it clearly says that if we are following and practicing a part of the book, which is practically, really, we are doing, because we have picked up the verses which tell us about the salat, and I'm not discussing, this is not the topic and not the time to discuss that how we translated salat into namaz and how we are offering it. But if we believe and take that this salat is the complete namaz, then, or what we call as the prayer, then 5 time prayers and fasting for a month, 2.5% of the zakat, and if we can afford a pilgrimage to haram, what we call as the hajj. Now these are the verses we have picked up from the Quran. I would call it cherry picking, and I think you must agree with me. Well, I must point out that these important aspects or the orders from the Quran are not less important. I'm not denying their importance. The importance of the prayer, importance of the psalm or the zakat or the hajj, fine, they are there. My problem, my question is about the other things. If you are not following the other commands of the Quran, as this verse very clearly says, then we will be subjected to disgrace in this life and severe punishment hereafter. Now, I think we have no choice but to agree that we are the most disgraced community at the moment around the world, not one country. And the reason seems clear. If you see this verse, that we have deserted Quran. We are following a part of it and not the other. Now, because of this cherry picking, for us, Islam is confined to this, what we have defined as the prayer or the worship system, and it is no way connected with many other things. Say, for example, because of this, we have divided our education system vertically, literally split it into worldly education and religious so-called education, Dini Talim and Dunyavi Talim. We have the madrasa systems and we have the school and colleges, and what havoc it has played with our society, we all know it. Doesn't need any elaboration. Because of our moving away from the Quran, the concepts of the ibadah has changed and it has transformed into prayers and the worships. And another thing which I would like, and in fact, I would like to focus in my today's presentation is about the environment. We have, I will just share it and what I have written here, environmentalism and ibadah. And ibadah, I define acts of submission to or acceptance of divine commands. When we submit to, willingly submit to divine commands or accept the divine commands, this is called ibadah. Every divine command must be submitted to, must be willingly accepted, and must be put into practice. And this is ibadah. So whatever Allah asks us to do, we do it, this is ibadah. That's why I said that ibadah cannot be translated as prayer or worship. This prayer or worship system is not there in Islam. We have to submit, of course, submit to Aqimu Salata wa Addu Zakata, submit to Kutiba alaykum Siyama, but also submit to other orders. And one example I'm bringing here is environmentalism. Now see this verse from Rahman. Wal arda wazaha lil anam. Allah has created, prepared this earth for all the living creatures. Now, as a student of science, I have taught and I know that how this earth at the time of origin of life was prepared for the life to come on it. When the planetary system originated, this earth was hostile to life. It cooled down. There was always no oxygen at that time. And we know life cannot survive without oxygen. So gradually what we call as an oxygen revolution came over millions of years of time. Water came into being. And then when the earth was ready for living creatures, the life originated on it. So we must remember that the earth on which we live is not meant only for human beings. It is for the entire biodiversity we have it here. And this is what the Quran tells us. It also tells us our role, that we are the custodians. Khalaif al-Ard. We are the custodians, the vicegerents on this planet. It means we are responsible for whatever resources we have on this earth. you cannot use them with impunity. You see, in my childhood, I heard that the human beings were considered, there were stories, in fact, that we are the conquerors of nature, we are masters of nature. Now we understand that we are neither conquerors of nature, nor we are masters. We are the custodians. So whatever resources we have on earth, we must know that they are meant for all the life forms which we have here, and they must be used judiciously. And a recycling must be ensured so that when I die, I leave my environment, maybe a microclimate and the microenvironment wherein I live, in a better shape than what I inherited. That should be the role of a custodian. Then there's an important verse which signifies the importance of balance. And the earth we have spread out like a carpet set there on mountains, firm and immovable, and produce therein all kinds of things in due balance. It means whatever life forms, all non-living things are there on this planet, they have a balance. We know there is a balance of carbon dioxide and oxygen. There is a balance of greenery and the animals. Everything has a balance, and this balance should not be disturbed. Because the moment this balance is disturbed, you see why we are facing pollution problems. Delhi, I'm sorry to say, in fact, nothing, something great to share with you all, but it is a fact that Delhi is the most polluted city of the world. Why? Because air has lost its balance. Why it lost balance? Because we cut the trees which were producing the oxygen and absorbing carbon dioxide. The industries and the motor vehicles and so many things, they pumped tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. So the oxygen carbon dioxide balance was disturbed. Due to many types of activities, industrial as well as traffic, the oxides of nitrogen and sulfur, they also increase, the ozone decrease. So the pristine air quality, the clean air which we used to have is no more there. So that is the changing of the balance. That's why we say that imbalance is pollution. Whenever any imbalance occurs in nature, it results in chaos or disorder. Our current problems of pollution and ozone depletion are very relevant examples. Now, Quran very clearly says that "Wala tufsidu fil ardi ba'da islahiha." I do not make mischief or the imbalance in the earth after it has been set right. Now, this word fasad, with the root words of fe, sin, dal, it means not only any mischief or corruption as it is usually translated. This word has a whole spectrum of meaning which all reflect to every type of imbalance, inequality, mischief, corruption, so everything. And Quran categorically asks us that don't spread any mischief or imbalance on the earth. It means I cannot throw my garbage in open. You see, the people, maybe in West and most of the Western countries, they may be surprised that what I'm talking, but in my country, in this subcontinent, garbage throwing senselessly on the roads and everywhere is a common practice. According to Quran, this is a fasad. And the person who is doing it is mufsid. And the Quran is very strict about the mufsideen. They are the people of the hell. Have we ever thought it? So any sorts of imbalance, inequality in this society, in the environment, anywhere in my family, if I am doing it, I am a creator of the fasad, what is called as the mufsid. Then because of these activities, Quran very clearly says that corruption or the fasad has, I will prefer to use the word fasad because corruption is not as inclusive as is fasad. Fasad has appeared in the land and the sea on account of what which man's hand have done. That he may take them, taste a part of that which they have done so that they may return. So it is our human activity which has created fasad, not only on the earth, but in the sea also. And Allah says that we are showing you these results so that you may return. Return to what? Return to restoring balance. And this end is very important. Consider it as a part of your religious obligation, your religious duty. Because as Allah says, Allah characterizes believers as muslihin of the society. they have been commanded to do amal salih, that is the acts of correction and reformation which would undo the damage done by the spoilers or corruptors. Thus, it is the duty of all believers to take up corrective measures for improving this society and to ameliorate the condition of people suffering because of inequalities, imbalances, and disorders in the society. And remember, all these are the acts of ibadah, because doing amle saleh is something which always comes with iman in the Quran. Illa allazina amanu wa amilu salihat. Amle saleh usually comes with iman. That all those people who have joined this peaceful system, you see, the root words of the iman are the same of the aman, that is peace. Whoever joined this system of ensuring aman, submitting peace, ensuring peace, and spreading peace, must always do the corrective measures to correct all those mischiefs which have been done by the mufsidin. So there are two sections of the society according to these verses. Those sections or those people who always create chaos, corruptions, imbalances, inequalities in the society in any way, financial, environmental, emotional, any sort of imbalances. Now they must be corrected by Muslihin, the people who believe in the peaceful system of coexistence. They must do the corrective measures so that the polluting effects, the poisonous effects of these systems are corrected, and they should continue to do amle saleh, the corrective measure, so that the balance is set right again and the justice is established, because balance is intricately related with justice. And justice, you know, Surah Nahl, first part, Inna Allah ya'muru bil adl. Allah asks us to do adl, justice. Now, this verse says that would we treat those who have attained to faith and do righteous deed in the same manner as we shall treat those who spread corruption on earth? Would we treat the God conscious in the same manner as wicked? So these two categories are defined. The mufsidin and muslihin, they cannot be the same. And God says, in fact, that God conscious people are always muslihin. And these are the acts of ibadah. These are the acts of ibadah which we must do if we are Muslims. Now, when we do these things, basically, then we are ensuring that divine laws are put into practice. Because Allah asks us to do corrective measures, not to spread any kind of fasad on this earth. When we put into practice, we are ensuring and implementing the divine laws which operate in nature. Now, anytime when one starts following the divine commands, and that one can do only after understanding Quran and putting into practice, once we start these things, then we know, you see, the entire nature follows divine laws. Once we start following it, we come in sync with nature. Now, once we come in sync with nature, this is almost like swimming with the currents. So one can easily feel the lightness, the ease of life, and a perpetual peace inside, a sense of satisfaction, a sense of achievement, because we are in sync with nature. The entire nature is following the divine commands. The moment we start following divine commands, we are at peace with ourselves, and the one who is at peace with himself is at peace with others. So that's why I say there that ibadah is syncing oneself with divine guidance. Whatever is the divine guidance, its following is part of ibadah. We should not restrict our ibadah to certain set of ritualistic prayers or worships, because, and this happens because we do not follow Quran. So unless until we understand Quran, we will not become people who are doing true ibadah, and we will not be able to reach any degree of taqwa. Wa akhiru dawana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much.